Hello, this is Frank of the 12 Gates, and today we're going to be talking about the greys. The greys in the last days. There you go, it rhymes. This video is aimed at basically the world. Yeah, and if you don't know, if you're a subscriber to this channel and you're not a Christian but you're interested in this end time stuff, what the Bible has to say and what's heading our way and all the rest of it. If you've been following this for some time, I know you're out there. Basically, this video is for you, but I suggest you watch. I made a video about the world. I keep talking about the world all the time. What is the world? Yeah, you got Christians and you got the world. And Christians, we cannot be part of the world. I've done a video about that as well. Another one, talking about Christian life. You cannot be part of the world. There is a Bible verse on that. It's mentioned a number of times. If the world likes you, then you're the world, isn't it? You know, you're not a Christian. If you're a Christian, you will be persecuted and you will be hated. You know, that's the part of the deal, I'm afraid. But yeah, this is for people. I call these people the greys. Yeah, Christians, we are the lights. And then obviously where there's light, there will always be darkness as well. And the exact opposite, the anti of that. You know, we've got that in the world now. And what we've got at the moment in the times we're in the end times. We're seeing it where we've got people, what I call are the greys. These are the neutrals, or they think they're neutral. They're neutral, they're undecided, they are indifferent, they're sinners for sure, and they're not even aware of it, and they are unbelievers. Yeah, some may believe, but they can't be bothered to. It's too much hard work, they can see, and they don't want to, you know, I'll just carry on living the way I'm living. I've made a video on the world. You need to watch that video. It's coming up on the screen now. Watch that video. That explains what the world is, and then you'll see. And this is just reaching out to people that are either looking for this, you're an unbeliever but you're just curious. It's a short video just to say that you may think that by helping the old lady across the road once a week, giving a couple of pounds and a can of beer to the homeless guy on a Saturday night, and doing various good deeds, and then it's all cancelled out by the general things that the world does. You know, I watched my videos on the 7 deadly sins. I mean, that's a Catholic thing, but believe me, that applies to the modern day life we've got now. You see it. Gambling and a big long list of things. Greed, obsession over money, materialism, all these things, you know. And people think, well, what's wrong with that? You know, what's wrong with having a career and wanting the nice things in life? You know, it's... You're straying away from what the Lord, how the Lord wants us to live our life. Yeah. And that's the thing. Most people are just blissfully... They know. Sometimes they're doing things, you get that feeling inside afterwards, the sort of slight guilt. Well, that is, I would say, we've all got the spirit, whether you're in the faith or not, but I think you just have it magnified tenfold when you get saved. And that's what you're going to have to do, because we're in the times now, you can carry on in this grey state, as I call it, this neutrality, this indifference, this... You know, a little bit of sin here and there, a little bit of drugs, a little bit of watching a bit of porn, a little bit of gambling now and again. You know, a little bit going down the pub and walking out, crawling out on all fours, absolutely paralytic. And, you know, well, we're just having a good time. What's wrong with that? You know, and the list goes on, doesn't it? A little bit of materialism, a little bit of buying designer clothes that cost 10 times the price of normal stuff you can get from Primark. All this sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah. Buying a fancy car, and then walking past the guy that's sitting there on the corner give him £2 when you could really give him much more than that, and then change his life. These sort of things. So this is reaching out to people that are in this situation. I'm just putting it to you now that in the last days, the final 7 years is my definition. Some people say we're in the last days now, but I think, as far as I'm concerned, we're in the end times. In the last days, there will be no neutrals. There will be no indifference. There will be none of this stuff. Yeah. At the moment, we've got black, we've got white, and we've got grey in between. And the vast majority of people are in the greys, aren't they? They either don't want to live a Christian life, or they maybe believe there is a God, but they think, oh, it's too much hassle to live that sort of way, and they just carry on living the way they do. But at the end, we're getting near that time now, and it could be tomorrow. We've got this, some people say it's the end of the world, this blood moon's coming up now. There's a record-breaking duration of 1 hour 43 minutes. That's why I thought I'd make this video today. But at some stage, you will find there will be no more greys. Yeah, if you read the book of Revelation, and you've probably seen it, you will realise that there's either going to be light or darkness. You're either going to be in one side of the camp or the other. There'll be those with the mark, the seal of God, as I mentioned in the other video, and there's going to be those that take the mark of the beast. There's no greys, there's no in between. If you refuse to take the mark, you're killed, isn't it? It's quite clear in Revelation 13. Yeah. If you are a Christian, then you have a different mark. Yeah, you have the seal of God in your forehead. It's mentioned, isn't it? Also, if you're a Christian, there is the chance that we could get raptured out of this end time scenario, whereas if you're a grey, you're either going to take the mark of the beast. If you don't take it, you're going to be killed. That's the two options you've got, isn't it? And it's quite clear in the Bible. Yeah, I'm not talking about lukewarms here. I'm not talking about lukewarm Christians that go to church on a Sunday, maybe read the Bible once a week, maybe pray once in a blue moon, that sort of thing. But when push comes to shove, if they had to put their life on the line, or there's a situation where they may be martyred, they think, oh no, I don't want this, and I'll just go back to well, that's a lukewarm. But that's a separate video altogether. I've mentioned that in a video, why I left the church system, and I'm sure I mentioned in there about the lukewarms. But this is just a sort of a wake-up call, really, to people that they're in this camp, and it's the vast majority of people. They're quite happy carrying on with their lives, doing their new age stuff and their yoga and meditation, or their maybe Hindus or Muslims or whatever it is. You're getting away with it now, but eventually there will be a time when you're going to have to make a decision. Yeah, and it's probably better to make it now. I can't force you into this sort of thing at all. I can't get you to get yourself saved or whatever it is. That's something you've got to come to a stage in your life, maybe a course of events, something may have happened in your life. I find when people have near-death experiences, or they experience a major loss in their life, that tends to bring about this situation where they realise there is a God, isn't there? There is a Jesus, and you start believing, and then you believe. Yeah, and then that's it. When you believe, you're saved, and then you need to get yourself baptized. I recommend, if you're going to read the Bible and you're just interested, read the book of Acts. It's all in there. It's not glamorized. It's not, you see the cold hard facts of what Christianity is, how they got saved back in the day, and then you see the hard side of Christianity, like Stephen, stoned to death. Big long list, isn't it? Paul had problems, that all of them went through persecution of some sort, isn't it? So you're going to get that. But if you believe, you get everlasting life, isn't it? And when this end times comes, as I mentioned in the previous video, the Lord will not hurt his own. The Lord is watching everybody. He is everywhere and everything, and he's watching everybody. Yeah, watching everybody and everything. Not only people that believe, yeah, but people, unbelievers as well. He's watching them all the time and trying to get you. You may have realised, I've looked back over my life when I finally got saved, I can see back at the times when I was an unbeliever. Well, I always believed, but I didn't want to become part of that faith, you know. I didn't want to do it. I was quite happy sinning away, living the life of a rebel. That was the way I wanted to live. And then I got my calling that one night, and there's a load of events led up to it. And that's it. I believed. Yeah. It was more of a calling, to be perfectly honest. But I'm just saying to all you people out there, if you're on this channel and you just find what's being said here is interesting, read the book of Acts, and you've just got to find your own way. But in the last days, there will be no grace, there will be no indifference, there will be no unbelievers. You're either going to believe in the beast or you're going to believe in Jesus Christ. And that is the hard, cold facts. If you are saved now, then you're a follower of Christ. If you're not saved, and you're other religions, or if you're just an average, normal person, a grey, just living the same life as everybody else, after your career, chasing after material goods, chasing after this, that, doing a bit of gambling, smoking a bit of crack on the weekend, or a bit of dope, you know, and this sort of thing, you think, well, it's just a little bit, you know, what's the problem? You know, there's no problem with that. You're a sinner, isn't it? And the thing is, that's what's happened now. We've been seared with that iron, isn't it? To the extent that you become insensitive to what you're doing, because everybody else is doing, isn't it? But there will come a time, as I said, you'll either go towards the light or you'll go towards the dark. There will be no in between, nothing at all. Yeah, a good test to know where you are in your life. I think, you know, we're in an internet-based world now, isn't it? The web. Check what's on your phone. Have a look what's on your phone. Just switch your normal self off and just look at it as like an outsider. Pick up your phone, have a look at your pictures, have a look at your videos, have a look at everything that's on your phone. Have a look at what's on your PC, have a look what's on your tablets, your laptop. Have a look. And if you just look at it with another person's eyes, you'll realise what's ingrained in your life. And these things you just take for granted and think, well, that's all right. It's all right to do that sort of thing. No, it isn't. Yeah. And that's what happened to me. Before I got saved, I saw things on the phone and they were removed. Yeah, things started dropping away before I got saved. A lot of things. You know, I could see them. Yeah, and that was after watching a couple of people on YouTube, these religious types, and I listened to what they said, and that was the start of the process. And it's something you're going to have to go through yourself. Anyway, this is Frank of the 12 Gates. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the Lord. And as always, peace, love and joy.